Good morning. Today I'm going to show you how to connect your N64 Gameshark to your N64 and get it up so that it boots and works. Today I'm going to show you about key codes. And these are special codes hardwired and hard programmed into your actual games that agree with some sort of software inside the N64 that says it is booting this kind of game, like it uses an expansion pack or it doesn't. I may be wrong. I'm not a total N64 guru, but I know a few things, and that's what key codes basically do. So, say you were to put in Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark shares a key code with Zelda, and mainly Nintendo did these key code things because they didn't want people copying their games, and with Gamesharks that became possible, and so they were trying to defeat the Gamesharks and just cheap devices in general because Nintendo really doesn't like them for some reason. I've never really successfully dumped a game off of my Gameshark with this thing, so anyway, yeah. Enjoy the video and thanks for watching. This is Gameshark menu, and it's also how to get to the code menu for key codes. You just go right down to the fourth option, press A on your remote. Alright, this isn't a Wii, so press A on your N64 controller. Okay. And there's the key code for Mario 64. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Okay, and then the next key code will be Diddy, and 1080, Banjo, and Griffey. Okay, and that's it. And no, it's not. And then the next key code's going to be Yoshi's Island or whatever, and Cruis'n World and F-Zero. Okay, and then the next one's going to be Zelda. This shares a key code with Perfect Dark, I believe. Okay. So that's it. And I don't believe there's any more key codes than that. Oh yes, and then you have your custom key code selection. Once again, if you did not get it, you start up your Gameshark. I'm going to power mine off for just a minute here. Alright. And then wait a couple seconds for your N64 to clear its RAM. Power on. Okay, and then it pulls up this cool main menu. So you go down or you press down on your D-pad or your control stick on your N64 controller, and you highlight key codes. Press A on that, and that's how you get to the key code menu. Now, if you want to set a key code, all you have to do is press A. And if you don't have this game, I would definitely not suggest setting this, because you can really ruin things if you don't have a key code to unlock the Gameshark once you set it on the key code that it's waiting for. What will happen is if you, say, I'll give you an example. If you put on the key code for Zelda. Let's hope I know what I'm doing. If you put on the key code for Zelda, you say yes. And since I'm super lucky, I have Perfect Dark, which is sharing. See, the key code is now set when you press A on yes. And it shares a key code with Perfect Dark. And I'm guessing at the time the Gameshark was created, Perfect Dark did not exist. So it was a Zelda key code, and that's all it has on there. Alright, see, power off. We're going to wait for the N64 to clear the RAM. Alright. Notice that my N64 Gameshark is not booting up. Okay? That's because GoldenEye 007 shares the same key code with Mario 64. It's a standard key code. So because I've set it for Perfect Dark, my Gameshark is now broken. If I didn't have Perfect Dark, this Gameshark would be broken forever. And there is a piggyback method you can use to unstick broken Gamesharks, but it's really kind of confusing, and you have to remember which one goes on top, or else you could brick your working Gameshark as well. What you do is you stack them on top of each other, and then you take it and it reflashes the firmware and all that good stuff. Alright, so here's Perfect Dark. Bought it used. Totally awesome game. We're going to put it in the Gameshark, and the Gameshark should boot up with it. Now, my Gameshark's old, and sometimes I have to pry it around before the N64 detects it. So we're going to do this. Alright, here we go. See, I don't have it pried in there right. Alright, after some prying around, we've got it to where it detects the Gameshark. So, watch this. Perfect Dark is booting my Gameshark. Now, the key code has been reset to Mario 64. This is only good for a one-time thing. You have to set the key code for Perfect Dark each time you want to mess with it. Now, it automatically defaults back to Mario World 64. And in case you're really worried, just press Z on your controller, and it sets the factory default, which is Mario 64. And I don't know why they call it Mario World 64. They were confused and weird. Now, we'll put in, well, what better game to put in than Mario 64? Alright, so here it is. Good game. I played this game into the ground. I'm surprised it still works. Now we put it on top of the Gameshark. Most likely it's not going to boot the first time because we moved the Gameshark when it's contacting the N64 things that read, you know. Yeah, see? Alright, so now we've got it adjusted to where the terminals in the N64 are reading the terminals in the Gameshark. And so now we just power the console on, and it should detect Mario 64, no problem. If you notice, my N64 started up my Gameshark just a little bit slow. Sometimes it does that when loading the firmware. I don't know what it is, it just does it. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much a key code overview. And I might make a couple more videos documenting how to use cheat code selection and memory card manager and all that good stuff. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, comment and rate, and I really want to thank all my viewers for liking my Gameshark demonstration video and my tutorial how to use Gameshark software code creator. That means a lot to me, and I love you guys, and just thanks, man. I mean, when I made that video, I didn't even expect it to be popular. I was just doing it, you know, because basically I didn't even know what I was doing. So I said, well, before I forget it, I'm going to make a video. So, you know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comment and rate, and Dragon out.